everyone, and season's greetings on this Monday. We're starting off on the 15th day of December. That's putting us 9 days away from the holidays. That's right, Christmas is next week, in case you didn't know. And I had to actually double check my calendar a couple of times just to make sure that indeed was correct. It is 9 days and a little less now. We're so glad you can start off your week with us here at Your News Today. We'll be covering an auto accident that started off the week for EMS personnel earlier today, a serious one in nature. I'll take you to the scene, tell you about the victim. We'll also talk about an ATV accident victim. A memorial service was to be set at his honor and in his honor at a Kentucky college. It may still be ongoing or wrapping up if you're catching the early show. And a church burglarized over the course of the weekend in McGoffin County. I'll tell you what I know tonight, with more to come tomorrow. And a lot of other news to get to. New calendar and so much more. Temperatures, as far as your forecast period is concerned, we're too far out to give you any real bearing on what Christmas may indeed be like. But for the forecast period between now and this time next week, 38 to 50 is the range for daytime highs. We've got chances of rain and snow intermittent throughout the forecast, and about as much clouds, if not more so, than we have sunshine therein. I'll update it for you in more detail just before we leave you for the rest of this Monday evening. Former mayor of Martin, Kentucky, Thomasine Robinson, was scheduled today to be sentenced, as she was, on federal vote buying and Social Security fraud convictions. This relates to two separate cases that we've been following now for several months. Her husband, James Red Robinson, 64, was also sentenced today for his conviction in the vote buying case. Their daughter, Christine Whitaker, 42, was also to be sentenced today for her conviction in the Social Security fraud case. This May, Robinson and her husband were each convicted of vote buying and civil rights violations for the November 2012 election for Martin mayor, in which she was seeking re-election. And then later on in February, in that month, Ruth Robinson and her daughter were both convicted of conspiracy, as well as federal program fraud and theft of Social Security disability benefits, as well as aggravated identity theft during an unrelated federal Social Security fraud trial that in part related to the daughter being at the time or beforehand the director of the Martin Community Center. As for sentencing, Thomasine Robinson received 90 months in prison for her role in both cases after being convicted, and her husband was sentenced to 40 months on related charges in that particular case. I'm still waiting some further information as in regards to the mother and daughter and the Social Security fraud case. Those sentencing weren't reported as of airtime. We'll have those at a later date. But on the vote buying charges, the former mayor receiving 90 months, her husband 40 months in prison. A structure fire very early this morning. It wasn't in McGoffin County. A McGoffin County department did render, as did other departments, mutual aid to the responding fire department. It was a total loss for the occupants and some family members, from what I understand. I spoke with Scott Castle of the Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department earlier today via telephone call, and he confirmed that around 3 o'clock this morning they got a call, a request for mutual aid from that department going over into Breathitt County, about 2 to 3 miles across the county line. It puts them somewhere 4 to 5 miles from Rusaw. 4 departments had responded from the Breathitt County area, and once they got the fire nearly contained, they ran out of water and called for some backup with more water and manpower. The structure and home was a total loss. I'm told by a member of the Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department that it belonged to a J.C. Montgomery. I'm also told unofficially that he was at home, as were his daughter-in-law and her children. That is unverified at this time, but that is the case that as we do believe. I do know that everyone inside the home did get out safe. I believe someone woke to smoke in the middle of the night, and they were able to get out of the home before it was completely destroyed. A member of the family who lives here in McGoffin County has sent me the following information in lieu of the fact they indeed did lose everything. They are now looking for women's jeans in a size 13 to 14, medium-sized tops. In men's clothing, 32 to 34-inch jeans, and a large shirt size, also 30 size jeans. So in the men's department, 32 34s, and then 30 30s, and then large shirts. In the girls, a 4T and 9 in shoes for children. You can contact me. I'll get a phone number for you. That number is not on here. I'll get a contact number for you and some more information. Just kind of came in right before airtime, in case you can help support those folks, certainly through the family through the holidays as well. I'll update you more on that, and right when we come back, I'll tell you and show you a serious and scary accident that has left one Montgomery County woman hospitalized. We'll talk about her condition right after this. 8 o'clock this morning, EMS and rescue and emergency personnel and law enforcement as well all responded to a single vehicle auto accident. It was reported at the mouth of Lakeville on Route 7 here in Sagersville, just outside the city limits of Sagersville. It was then discovered that while there were 2 vehicles involved in the entire incident, only one was involved in the accident in and of itself. Montgomery County Rescue Squad personnel and I believe law enforcement arriving on the scene all found the driver of the pickup truck, which had just crashed head-on into a tree, unresponsive. She was ultimately removed from that vehicle and then airlifted to the Cabell-Huntington Hospital for serious head and other trauma. At this point in the video, rescue crews were just starting to tend to Sharon Fields, a longtime employee at the Montgomery County Health Department. She's been interviewed countless times over the years here on Your News Today. Always very eager to share with us any happenings that she was aware of at the health department and the other things that she will be involved with throughout the community. This is her pickup truck after she was taken from the vehicle and then placed in an ambulance, as you can see and are about to see. This was a head-on collision with a large grouping of trees just across the mouth of Lakeville on Route 7. Montgomery County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook says that so far, and this was very early in his preliminary investigation, but based on an eyewitness statement from another vehicle, that it indicated that Fields was in the left lane attempting possibly to pass a vehicle before switching back very quickly and abruptly into the original right lane and then losing control. These yaw marks indicating where she left the roadway and then struck the tree.
Was traveling north on Route 7 towards the Lakeville intersection. The first motorist was attempting to make a left-hand turn onto Lakeville Road. The second motorist behind the first one attempted to pass the first motorist and appeared she lost control and struck the tree on the right-hand side of the road.
Officer Holbrook says that also based on that eyewitness statement that it appears as though both individuals, as he said, were traveling towards the direction of Sagersville. The operator of a small gold-colored SUV was in front of Fields' pickup truck when she was making a left turn onto Lakeville Road. Her statement to authorities and Officer Holbrook was that she saw in her rearview mirror that Fields' vehicle was appearing as though it was going around her and that she whipped it back to the right side, and apparently she says that also Fields made the same maneuver, and that's when her vehicle cut sharply from the left across the right lane and then stopping when it came head-on full force with this tree. You can see the extensive damage done to the vehicle and of course the seriousness of the impact. After emergency crews worked to free her from the wreckage, she did go from unconscious to a semi-conscious state. She was taken across the road by the ambulance service to an established landing zone where Air Methods helicopter service had lifted off from Morgan County and just arrived and sat down. After loading her into the ambulance, the air ambulance that is, she was taken to the Cabell-Huntington Hospital. Her latest update indicated that she was possibly going to have to go under surgery for at least 2 broken vertebrae in her neck. It's my understanding, based on reports from family and friends at the hospital, that doctors are not so much at this particular time concentrating on other injuries, including the head trauma and possibly some other fractures, possibly to her leg or legs, but right now focusing on the spinal injury that had left her with what we are hoping was some temporary paralysis. In other headlines this evening, a young man from eastern Kentucky has died 2 days after serious injuries that he sustained in an ATV accident. That accident took place Friday in Pike County. Mark Tyler Williams, a University of Pikeville student and athlete, was a passenger on the ATV. When the driver lost control, the vehicle then went off the trail and through the passenger, who was identified once again as the junior at the University of Pikeville, Tyler Williams. A memorial service was set to be held beginning at 5 o'clock this evening in the Booth Auditorium. Funeral services for the young man have been set for Wednesday of this week at 1 p.m. with visitation set to begin tomorrow night and carry up until time of services from the Belfry High School, we are told. Kentucky State Police, who were handling the accident, say it appears as though Williams was not wearing his seatbelt on the side-by-side. They also say that alcohol does not appear to be a factor in any form of the collision. There was also no update on the condition of the driver, only to say that Mark Tyler Williams was the passenger and indeed thrown from the vehicle and pronounced dead Sunday over the course of the weekend. It all happened on Ball Fork Mountain in the Stone community of Pike County. More headlines coming up in just a few moments, and we'll talk to you about a Montgomery County church burglarized over the course of the weekend. I've got some pictures to show you and some more information in lieu of a follow-up set for tomorrow. But right now, it's a new week, and therefore a new community calendar brought to you, as always, by Montgomery Farm Bureau. And it all kicks off with a couple of special announcements. The first is a happy birthday wish to Nola Likens Johnson. It's Nola's birthday, and from a whole lot of folks, it says the gang at City Hall, but we want to chime in on that one too, Nola. So from a whole list of family and friends, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday tonight to Nola Johnson. And birthday wish, no, not birthday wishes, but anniversary wishes go out tonight to a couple celebrating, and I'm going to make sure I get it right, 32 years. Happy anniversary, Jackie and Jeannie Arnott, from the kids and a host of family and friends. Happy 32nd anniversary, Jackie and Jeannie Arnott. A quick reminder, the Montgomery County Safe and Teen Coalitions will be meeting this Wednesday at noon at the Montgomery County Health Department. Lunch is served. The public is invited and encouraged to attend. That's Safe and Teen Coalition meetings this Wednesday beginning at noon. And from the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church Youth Group, they're having their Christmas program this Saturday evening at 6, and this is your invitation. Everyone is welcome to join them. The Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church Youth Group Christmas program this Saturday beginning at 6. And I know now that's my last calendar announcement. It's never hurts to double check. If you've got a birthday, anniversary, a special wish, or something along the lines of a group, church, or club organization, send it to us. We'll let everyone know, and we'll do it for free. I'll be right back with more of your news today. We'll get ready to wrap up the program with another top headline and a look ahead to your weather forecast, which is inching closer to Christmas by the second. Stay tuned. 2 Kentucky State Parks and a Kentucky State Park Trail were each honored recently during the annual meeting of the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society. The meeting happened in Owensboro. The honorees were the Jenny Wiley State Resort Park in Floyd County, of course, and the Big Bone Lick State Historic Site in Union, and our own Dawkins Line Rail Trail here in eastern Kentucky, Montgomery and Johnson counties. Jenny Wiley won the award for their outstanding state park presence in the category for parks with 16 or more employees by demonstrating outstanding contributions through programming. The park, of course, as we all know, has the lodge, cottages, restaurant, marina, and the campground, and also has the elk viewing tours during the fall and winter months. And the Big Bone Lick Park won the award for Outstanding State Park in the category for parks with 15 or fewer employees. The Dawkins Line Rail Trail received the Facility Class 2 award. That's given out to facilities with 15 or fewer employees that offer a unique enhancement in quality of life for the community that they serve. The Dawkins Line opened, of course, as we know and have used to some degree, some of us more, the 18-mile section in Johnson and Montgomery County last year for hikers and cyclists and horseback riders. And it still offers, of course, those 22 trestles, the Gun Creek Tunnel, and it still has much more to offer as work is still continuing on the second phase of the trail, which will add another 18 miles on into Breathitt County. I'm set forth tomorrow to take part in an interview with representatives of a local church, a church which these couple of photographs that I have tonight was burglarized over the course of the weekend. I'll have more on the break-in tomorrow, but I just wanted to at least get the information out there just in case someone has some information for authorities. Full Gospel Mission House of Prayer on Jim Arnott Branch here in Sagersville was the target of thieves over the course of the weekend. From what I understand, they came in, and you could see some of the aftermath they left behind, some damages as well. And they also apparently were making plans on coming back a second trip. While they did steal some musical equipment and other items, they also left some stuff it appeared as though ready to go because they couldn't carry it all in 1 or 2 trips. Nevertheless, we're hoping you can maybe shed some light on this particular case. Tomorrow night, we'll hear from representatives of the church a description in more detail of the musical instruments and items that were taken. I can tell you right now that as for the guitar, it was a blonde-colored Washburn. It had a flat finish. There's also a Gibson bass that was taken. An amp by the Marshall Manufacturing Company was also taken. Those things I know at this hour. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow night when we have some representatives hopefully with us then who can shed some more light on just another theft. And anytime you have something next to around the holidays and it involves a church or something of that nature, well, it just hits a little closer to home. We're hoping to find someone who is responsible for these crimes with your help. The Full Gospel Mission House of Prayer on Jim Arnott Branch. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. While for the rest of the show tonight, it's on to your Licking Valley RECC forecast, which has got some precipitation in store for us. 57 degrees here at the newsroom. It was short-lived, but for a few moments, that was our daytime high. And then for the early show hour, we're already at 41 and falling. Temperatures are going to continue to fall tonight. And there's also some more things headed our way. We've got a couple of hits of winter in the forecast, and it's a little far out, but we're getting an idea as to what Christmas might be starting to shape up as. But I will say this, while there's no way I would already call it white, I will say that we've got, right now, this far out looking in, better chances of a white Christmas than we've had in many years past. A lot has to happen between now and then. We'll certainly by this time next week have a better understanding. For your forecast tomorrow, those showers tonight, look for some more early rain in the morning, a little late drizzle winding it all down tomorrow. We should see right around 50 degrees for your Tuesday and a low tomorrow night, well above freezing to the tune of 37 degrees. We'll also see some winds factor in there, gusts upwards of 18 miles per hour at times tomorrow night. Midweek, a chance of some drizzle in the early a.m. on your Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures fall down to 43 for daytime highs. They'll continue to fall down to 29 for Wednesday night's low, as we see that being one of the two low points temperature-wise in our forecast. We've got some more, though. Thursday, we're talking about partly sunny skies, 41, 24, pretty much on par with just an average winter day. Winter's still officially a few days away, but partly sunny, mostly cloudy late on your Thursday. Dry and calm is the key to Thursday's forecast, while Friday's starts off on the same note. Low 40s, a little more sunshine building in, a low of 30 degrees that night. Friday night into your Saturday looks to be the next precipitation maker. We'll see a chance of some rain and or snow late Friday night, and then we'll see the chances thereof lingering around into your Saturday. A little snow possible at the onset, and then changing over possibly to a little rain a little later on up into your Saturday. Temperatures only going to climb to right around 38 degrees on your Saturday with a low just below freezing. We'll see a little sun to cap it all off, but that precipitation early on. As far as Sunday, the clouds are going to hang tough. We'll also see another chance of some showers, maybe even a little bit of snowfall. Temperatures for daytime highs still below 40. And then next week, well, it's got a lot of things that have to come into play, but there's going to be some cold air and possibly some moisture, and they may combine for at least a chance of a white Christmas. And like I said, that's as far as I'm willing to go out on that limb at this time. A whole lot of news that you'll only see with me starts tomorrow night. Back here for more of your news today. For now, thank you for watching and being a part of the show.